Welcome to the Coriolis Effect with Cory Oliver.
Hi guys, I'm Cory Oliver. Thanks for watching the Coriolis Effect. Please hit the subscribe button below, and we hope you like this episode. Hi guys, we wanted to announce that like many podcasters, we just started a Patreon account. Visit our page at patreon.com/the Coriolis Effect. We have 5 different levels of membership and offer early access to episodes, behind-the-scenes footage, bonus episodes, shoutouts, and much more, including personal phone calls, questions and answer sessions, and live chats with Bob and me. That's patreon.com/the Coriolis Effect.
There are several serial killers who have a military background, such as the Son of Sam, the Green River Killer, Jeffrey Dahmer, the Toy Box Killer, and many more. This is not your average true crime podcast.
This podcast is brought to you by Military True Crime Addict, a podcast focusing on true life events of military personnel, veterans, and those associated with the military. Give a voice to the victims and hear their side of the story, raise awareness of the heinous crimes, and support those most impacted. Military True Crime Addict is available wherever you get your podcasts, and you don't need to know anything about the military to listen. Now, back to the show.
This episode is brought to you by LearnWorlds.com. Did you know that creating an income online or adding a new revenue stream to your business has never been easier? Have you ever considered taking your knowledge, skills, and expertise and converting them into a course that you can sell online? Introducing LearnWorlds. LearnWorlds makes it easy to create, host, and sell beautiful online courses that have an impact. Go to learnworlds.com/free to start your 30-day free trial. With LearnWorlds' intuitive platform and a wealth of resources to educate you, you're only a few steps away from building a thriving online business in the booming knowledge economy. That's learnworlds.com/free for a 30-day free trial. Again, learnworlds.com/free.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Cory. How are
Good
you?
morning. I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Really?
Yes. What's going on with you?
Oh my gosh. So many things are going on. There's so many wonderful things happening. I feel like in this world where there's
Name
so
7
much,
of them.
There's so much uncertainty. Dwarves, I mean, 7 dwarves, where there's so much uncertainty. If we don't stay positive and look at the silver lining and all that we do have, we can get lost in the whole, rabbit hole, if you will. And so all kinds of amazing things are happening.
Okay, I'm all about staying positive. And I would
I
like
think
you
you
to
should
stay
be.
positive. You should be positive about the Rorschach test. You should be positive about the phobia words.
I'm actually eliminating, you've heard it here first, folks. It's on
No,
our intro.
no.
We're eliminating the Rorschach test officially.
This got edited out.
And we are eliminating the fear, and we're going to maybe revisit it down the future.
But this episode we're doing it.
We're not doing it.
We're doing it. This is the 50th episode. By the way, this is our 50th episode.
Okay, wonderful.
Oh, that was the wrong one. I don't know where my things are. I forgot where they put them. Oh, never mind.
By the way, I'm pretty sure someone's at the door. And secondly,
That could be
I'm
our
renaming, I'm giving my dog a last name. Our last guest named her dog Cash. And when she said, Cash, come, that means it's
bringing in money.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
We speak it as though it is so. Somebody's at the door and your dog is barking.
Tinks is just barking. Nobody's at the door. If
How much
someone is
wanna
at the
bet?
door, you'd hear a doorbell ring.
Let's bet.
Okay, how much you want to bet?
$1 hair.
What? You can't even bet $1.
It did.
Right.
$1 hair.
$1 to see who's at the door. Who's our guest today?
Our guest is Sandra De Sousa. She is a British-Portuguese Christian actress and acting coach, and very talented. She's got a lot going on that we'll cover today. She's beautiful and smart and funny. She's doing action comedies, thrillers. I mean, she's got a lot in the works and has an amazing, extensive resume. And she has worked with Bernard Hiller, who's a famous acting coach, and he has worked with just about everybody. I saw the clip, except for me. Literally, the clip says he's worked with everyone in Hollywood, and I'm like, crickets. Do we have a button for that? Because Bernard, not that button. Crickets was.
The crickets are.
I have not worked with you, Bernard, but that clip is very impressive, and hopefully one day we will meet, or you can.
Put me in a movie.
Well, no, he's an acting coach,
Acting
very
coach,
famous acting coach. He's very
Teach me how to
connected,
get a
and
role in a movie.
the one thing I noticed about him, and I'll talk about this more on the show. And maybe this will be a little teaser. I actually know Dustin Hoffman, and he did give me some.
You dropped a name there.
Okay, you were waiting to use that
For like 4 episodes.
Oh my gosh. I can't even with you. I can't. Well, I do happen to know him. And lovely man, amazing man, gave me a great piece of acting advice, which I'll share a little bit later in the show. But back to Bernard Hiller, he listens. He's a great listener, and that is part of being an amazing actor is listening. And so
That's good.
the end.
So you want to be a student of his?
I mean, I've certainly worked with a lot of great acting coaches.
Name one.
Roy London.
Okay.
I've worked at Van Mar Academy, Lee Strasberg Academy.
Nice.
I had Joe Salazar was my acting coach for years. Joe, I love you. He helped me through so many auditions that I can't even tell you. Yeah, I love how you're like, name one, and your head starts shaking, and it's like, I've been in the business for 28
I don't think
years.
I made that face.
It was. But I have not worked with Bernard, and I'm pretty sure he's out of New York, which is probably largely why I never really went to New York that much. I was offered a job for MTV, oddly enough.
Really?
As a host when it first came out. Lisa Berger was the casting director, and she sat me down in her office, and she said, Cory, I'll give you a job in New York, but you don't seem like you're a New Yorker.
You're not a New Yorker.
And I was not.
Yeah.
I clearly was not. I would have eaten me up more than this town did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a good choice. Okay. Anyway.
All right, so Miss De Sousa is coming in.
Yes.
And we're betting whether she's at the door right now.
Sandra De Sousa. Yes,
Okay.
she was on the show.
All right, we're going to see in a minute, and we're going to find out who wins the bet. We want to take a minute and talk to you about ExpressVPN. Most people don't know that your internet provider, many websites, and even apps collect all of your data and then sell it to whoever's willing to pay for it. They know what websites you visited, what products you've bought, what products you looked at and did not buy, and some people can even copy your passwords and usernames and then access your private accounts. ExpressVPN encrypts all of your data and sends it from their servers, so no one knows where you are. With ExpressVPN, people may think you're in Bangladesh when you're really in Chicago. They would think you're in South America when you're really in Detroit. ExpressVPN protects you from hackers who try to steal your information, and also from spies who try to use your data for their own nefarious purposes. ExpressVPN also allows you unrestricted access to all parts of the internet. How does it work? ExpressVPN uses the best-in-class encryption. Whenever you are connected to ExpressVPN, every piece of data going in and out of your devices goes through a security crypted tunnel and cannot be seen. Not by the government, not by hackers, not by your internet service provider, not even by ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN also employs IP masking. Every device has a unique IP address, which can be traced back to you. When you use ExpressVPN, your connection gets routed through one of their 3,000 plus servers, hiding your real IP address and replacing it with one of their own. This allows you to browse the web truly anonymously. With servers in 94 different countries, you have a wide variety of places you can choose to appear from. ExpressVPN also provides 24/7 customer support with live chat, which means your question will be answered within seconds, not hours or days. It is also one of the easiest apps to use. Just open the app, and with one click, you're protected. It is also physically impossible for any of ExpressVPN's servers to store logs of any customers. And ExpressVPN is a top-rated VPN provider, rated #1 by CNET, The Verge, Wired, TechRadar, and many more. Just go to expressvpn.com/Cory to get 3 extra months free with a 12-month plan. This is a limited-time offer for the Coriolis Effect with Cory Oliver listeners. Again, get 3 months free with a 12-month plan. Go to expressvpn.com/Cory. With ExpressVPN, you can protect all of your digital devices, your computers, your phones, your tablets, everything, and have no more border restrictions. Again, that's expressvpn.com/Cory. Okay, so if you remember 2 seconds ago when we broke, somebody thought there was somebody at the door.
You mean
and
66
somebody,
minutes ago?
Okay, but this is going to be edited back in and put in the front of the show.
Okay, so what do you want me to do about the door?
just
Okay,
say-
so you're right, is what you want me to say. Another soundbite?
I don't need you
for
to
you,
say
Bub?
that. I already know
no
that.
problem. Okay.
No, before, when we broke for the 2 seconds, we came to see if somebody was at the door. And I wonder who was right.
Look at the face. What he does is he goes,
You don't have to say it because I just put up on your score, Bob 2, Cory 0. We keep a running score.
I don't. You do.
I do. Yeah, you don't have
do.
to. I got it. I'm scorekeeper.
We'll work that out with Bernard.
Producer, scorekeeper. Yeah.
Bernard's going to help you. He's meant for good, not evil. Welcome to the Coriolis Effect with Cory Oliver.
Yeah.
Crickets. Oh, sorry. I was waiting for you to play the crickets. No, I don't really ever start the show like that. I was just messing with Bob. But welcome. We have a great
Cory
guest.
makes fun of me all show long. For you listeners out there, just everybody write in as to how many times Cory makes fun of Bob.
We have an amazing actress, a British actress,
Yes.
Portuguese, British Portuguese actress. You're an acting coach. Yes. You have an amazing resume. We're going to dive into all the projects that you've done and that you are going to do. But first, we have...
I just gave you the sign to keep rolling because I'm trying to find
I
something.
thought you were trying to say...
No. You've been an actor for 27 years. This means keep it going. I'm not ready.
No, this
threw it
does.
back to me.
This means keep it going. I'm not ready.
What does this mean?
That means I don't know what I'm doing. So you're right. We have Sandra De Sousa on the show today. Welcome,
Hi.
Sandra. So excited to have you.
Thank you.
You're so beautiful.
Oh,
and
my goodness,
your energy
thank
just
you.
walked in with you and before you, and it's amazing.
Oh,
and
bless you. Thank
yeah,
you.
no, thank
too.
you for coming and all the way out here and being on the show today. We have lots to talk about. One of the things
Ready?
is our phobia. Our phobia word. I love it. You're hilarious. Our phobia word, which Bob
I
just
figured since
interrupted.
all of the signs I give you off camera, you tell people what I'm doing. I might as well just yell it out.
Well, one of the reasons why I explain is because we are audio only too, and so I'm trying to give a visual for the audio. But since you're not an
On
actor,
Ooh, that hurt.
Ouch.
Yeah.
okay. So I love you, Bob, but you should be, and I would actually give up my
love
seat
Bob.
for you. Okay. But we do give our guests a phobia word, which we're phasing out this episode because I don't like the fear
we're
of
not.
anything.
Yeah.
Because we have a
doesn't
God.
like
Why don't we
that-
just say no
Fear.
negativity?
Right. So maybe we'll do that kind of word. But today we're doing our last
By the way,
phobia
Cory,
word for those.
Don't
of
say
you.
that because I'm cutting it out. Cory and I are going to have a discussion off camera, and we're going to decide
He's a
whether to keep
control
this going
freak.
because we get comments. This is like the best part of the show.
Right.
People love
You show
this.
me 10 of those comments
I will.
by 10 different people
In-
around the world, and I will
Okay.
consider it.
Okay. Anyway, so this is a phobia. You have to guess what the phobia is. I will have Siri play it, and I will spell it for you.
Scoptophonia.
Well, actually, it's scoptophobia. I spelled it wrong.
Scoptophonia.
Scoptophobia.
You can't even get the fear word
Scoptophobia. Scoptophobia.
Oh my goodness. Scoptophobia. Gosh, I'm trying to think about the Latin in there, but there's no Latin in that one. Thinking technical, something maybe technical, like fear of technical something, maybe like a scope or fear of like a scope being spied on.
Okay,
No.
you know what?
Completely wrong.
All right, Cory, I'll give you a hint.
Fear of your eyes. Fear of your staring.
Close. Fear of being stared at.
Stared at. Fear of being stared at.
Oh,
Okay, that's great. That's enough, I guess. That's really lame, but okay. Okay. I would have done like maybe the fear of accents or something because Sandra De Sousa is our first European actor on
I didn't
the
know
show.
she had an accent until she came in.
Well,
These words are done
you
during
had
prep
15
meetings. I do
minutes
these
to-
words
that's
weeks
so
in
not
advance.
True. That's so not true.
I do these words minutes in advance before the
not
guest gets
true,
here.
Sandra. But you are, and I've always loved that accent. I love any accent, but I love your accent. You're just a beautiful soul. So let's dive into. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you, Bob. I may transition into a European accent halfway through this, just because. Oh my God.
That's funny. Let's hear
my
yours,
God.
Bob.
Bob does not have any accent
Yes,
other than a
let's hear
Philadelphia
yours,
accent.
Bob.
Mine's from Philadelphia.
Bob,
Say water.
please.
Forehead.
You have. I'm looking at your resume. You were born in London.
Yes.
Yes,
Born and bred in London.
in London.
Portuguese parents.
Portuguese parents. You
Yes.
speak full Portuguese.
I do. I speak fluent Portuguese, although to a lot of my Portuguese family, I have a tiny little accent because I'm not native, so they'll kind of suss it out. But Yeah, I'm definitely fluent, and I'm so glad that my parents spoke to me in Portuguese when I was growing up. It really helped.
It
It's great
makes
to
a
have another
difference
accent.
when
Yeah.
you're younger. It's easier
Language.
to pick up a language like
Yes,
that, right?
absolutely.
I
And
know.
I love it. And Portugal's wonderful.
Yes.
Don't know if you've ever been, but it's gorgeous.
I
You must go.
haven't. I have not been, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just looking at you. There's beautiful people there. I'm
They
sure.
all look like you, and we're going
She's
tomorrow.
gorgeous, gorgeous.
You
Oh my
too.
gosh. So how old were you when you came to the States? And tell me your story.
Gosh, so I came out here about sort of 11 years ago. I've been coming back and forth really though, because I fell in love with LA. I'd been to New York many times, but I fell in love with LA because I met this amazing acting coach in London. And it was the weirdest story. It's like basically I went to this dental office and I can't really remember if I was even going to see the dentist. But anyway, there was this magazine on the table, you know, as there usually is. And I was flicking through the magazine and then I saw this advert for a huge competition. It was an international competition. It was called the International Stopping Power Competition. And it was judged by Jeremy Zimmerman, who's quite a well-known casting director. You might have heard of him. And then the prize was to work with Bernard Hiller, who was a Hollywood acting coach. And I didn't know who he was at that point. But also, you had to buy these contact lenses. I don't even wear contact lenses, but I had to spend like £50, which was quite a lot back then, on these contact lenses. But I was like, I have to do this. It was like a divine thing. And I wasn't really walking with Christ back then, but it just felt like I had to do it. So I spent this money. And then I entered the competition and I couldn't believe it. I was like the British finalist of this international competition. So there were girls from all over the world. And then we got to work with him.
Wait, one second. I want to interject because I'm trying to track you.
Yes.
You had to buy the contact lenses to enter the competition.
Yes, Johnson & Johnson contact lenses. And I didn't really wear them. I actually got the colored ones because I was like, so you had to provide proof of purchase to enter it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. It's really random, but I was just like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
And was it a contest for like the best looking eyes or the best story about the contact? What was the contest?
It was actually the best story, really, about why you're captivating or why people would watch you or look at you. And so I wrote this whole story about, you know, my past and, you know, being Portuguese and everything, and that I'm very passionate about things, and, you know, and I tend to get noticed if I'm very passionately talking about something. And so I talked about my eyes, and my eyes are green. So there was this whole thing that I wrote, and then we had an audition. So I got to like audition, and then I couldn't believe it. I was just shocked. But I also was like, I have to do it. So anyway, I did it. We then worked with Bernard Hill, and I remember the first week, so we had a 5-day intensive with him. And I just remember I got there and I was so excited to be doing acting. And I had been acting before. I'd acted at university because I trained as a painter and artist. And so I was in the drama society. So I did plays and shows and musicals and everything else. So I was obsessed with acting. It was like I wanted to be an actor since I was 5. So I was completely obsessed. Anyway, so then we started acting and I spent the whole week crying, like literally crying, because this wonderful man, Bernard Hiller, he's so intense in his work, but also he just looked right through me and he saw the pain. He saw that I wasn't fulfilling my potential, that I really wasn't doing the thing I wanted to do, and that there was a lot of the past that I was dealing with, that I hadn't dealt with, that I hadn't worked on, that was really preventing me from being the actor I could be and really stopping so many different things, you know. So after I worked with him, and it was kind of transformational, he went back to LA, as you do. And I was just like, you can't leave, you have to come back. So I then started organizing a masterclass in London with a lot of my other actors that I knew at the time. And then he said, you need to come to LA. You need to be out here. And so at that point, then I started booking more work. So I got a better agent, and then I booked an international American, it was an American co-production European film, which I shot in Bulgaria.
Wow.
Sorry, not Bulgaria. I shot it in Budapest. And so what happened was, in Sofia, just everything opened up for me, just really from those 5 days of intense work.
Wow.
So I've been really working with him ever since.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because I saw his video, and I've been
Yes.
in the industry for 27, 28 years, and he says, somebody in the video says, the little clip that was you sent says that he's worked with everybody in Hollywood. And I was like, hey,
Almost
Bob,
everybody.
almost everyone, because I've never worked with him. And I've worked with everybody. But
Yes,
in
you
watching
have.
this video, he that's the number one thing I got from him is he just really listens. And as an
Yes.
actor, you have to be able to listen and hear what the other person is saying, because I was talking about this in the beginning, in the intro, that I know Dustin Hoffman. Yeah.
Cory, you dropped a name there. You got to
I
put that
dropped
out.
a name.
That's very good.
And I said in the beginning, and I wanted to give this away now, that he told me personally that, and this was just, it's not like it's a big revelation, but it's true, that acting is reacting.
Yes.
And, a lot of people can get in their heads, and their coach can get in their heads, or their person they're reading against can get in their heads. And the reality is that you might react to a situation differently than I will.
Absolutely.
And so, but what I noticed about Bernard, Mr. Hiller, is that he's very well revered and loved, and he lets people be themselves, but he probably doesn't get in their head. He just helps them get to where they need to go on their own.
Yeah, it's really, I think I described it as very holistic, because it's not just working on technique. So we work a lot on specific technique, and whether it's script analysis or really sort of pushing the character, making the right choices. Stella Adler talked about talent is in the choice. So really getting dynamic choices. But it's also working with you as a human being. And so a lot of us have this, and this is what he noticed from working with actors for many years. He noticed that they were so blocked. And it's trauma. Some of it's trauma, some of it's, problems, it's life issues, it's, not communicating with family or not being happy, in your life while you're pursuing, because it's it's a tough industry, and there are lots of knockbacks, there are lots of rejections. But the thing is, we have to not put our identity in the industry. We have to have an identity. And obviously, if you're a believer, you have an identity in Christ. But if you're not, you need to at least fix on who you are and really becoming authentic about who you are, what you want to do, and why is it so important to you to be an actor? Why not be an accountant? What is it about acting? Why do you want to tell stories? You want to change people's lives? So it's really, what I loved about him was that he would work on the past, and my relationship changed, like with my family. So many things transformed, and I love that, because it was about the heart, and I opened the heart more. I was more open, I was more loving, I was more friendly, because I stopped beating myself up about certain things that I didn't do, the chances that we don't take. Because that happens in life, where you're like, I should have.
Oh my gosh! How do you know? Have you seen into my life the last few days?
Last few days.
Okay, you don't need to beat a girl when she's already admitting she's down. But go ahead.
But it happens, because we all have those, right? Those regrets of like, why didn't I reach out? Or why didn't I say the right thing then? Or something could have happened, and
So what were like the top 5 things that he told you in those 5 days? 5 days
Oh my
is,
goodness.
what was, what do you recall from that?
Well, I think it's a lot of it was to do with the past, was the forgiving, forgive those, forgive those around you, like understand, like parents, you're a parent, right? You don't get the big parent book, and
You don't get a handbook.
You don't.
No.
And it's tough. Like, a lot of my friends have kids and blah, 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 and I'm the fun auntie. But I know how difficult it can be. And so a lot of parents, they're so overwhelmed, and they weren't given the love from their own parents.
Yes.
So it's like a cycle, isn't it? And so part of it was him breaking some of the cycle of that pain, and also the forgiveness. And so there are exercises. One of them is the unfinished business, which is awesome. So basically, you identify, and I had a lot of issues with my mom, and she, gosh, I sound American now, my mom, actually.
Your
Sorry,
mom.
I'm British,
Mum.
don't forget Sandy. So anyway, so then what we would do is you have an actress play your mum, and then you have like 2 minutes or 5 minutes to tell her everything that you've never said in your life. And at first it takes you a minute to
I'm
just
like cry.
connect.
I'm not even there.
I know, but you connect with it, and then you see your mom, and she's right there. Sorry, I'm getting emotional.
Or your ex-husband.
Oh, your ex-husband.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Number one. I'm just kidding.
No, fair enough.
Okay,
Well, honey,
can we edit that out?
you can.
Oh my gosh.
You can totally do that.
Oh my
You
gosh,
can totally
like,
do that.
seriously.
Find an actor, have him sat there in front of you, and you just work through everything. And
That's so amazing.
it's an amazing exercise, and it works every time. It really resolved a lot of the issues. I did it with my brother too. And you drop a lot of the issues. It's so because you
got it
just
out.
need to speak. Yeah, you've got to get it out. Otherwise, it sticks in your body.
Does
Yes.
it work with talent and producers?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
It does. Well, I say this, I'm not supposed to say repeat stuff, but I haven't said this in a while.
Yeah.
Acts 26:18 is bring the darkness to light, right?
Yes, amen.
So when you
yeah.
can bring that stuff out, not that it's all dark, sometimes it's good stuff, but when
Yeah.
you can bring it out and expose it, it kind of gives it no power
That's right.
over your body.
That's right. That's so
And
true.
it's disease is dis-ease.
That's right.
So when you have that dis-ease going on, it will probably, I would imagine, be conveyed on camera, and it's like you're almost crippled, right?
Absolutely.
That makes such good sense.
And you can see it when I'm working with actors now. I can see a lot of the stuff that you kind of have to get through to get to the real beauty and the gem, the diamond underneath. So it's a lot of kind of getting rid of some of the stuff, and it's bad habits, and it's also negative thoughts about yourself, that the enemy, we know it's about the enemy giving us those negative thoughts, but I work with many that don't understand any of that. So the point is, it's about giving them, when I'm working with them, I give them so much of my love and my openness to help them and to find where it is really the problem happened or the block happened, and then we can work, and then we can go into the script and everything else. But a lot of that is just like clearing that mess. That's why some of these exercises are so powerful.
I would not.
do.
I would be. Is Bernard here
Yeah.
in LA?
Yeah,
Poor
absolutely.
Bernard.
Yeah,
he has
he
no
lives in
idea
Beverly
what's
Hills.
about to. Okay, yeah. Because I'm telling you, like that. I've been to Lee Strasberg, Van Mar, Roy London,
Right. Yeah, all
Joe
of the good
Salazar.
ones.
They're all great,
Yes.
amazing coaches and classes and schools, and that is not something that I've done. I mean, any coach can say, okay, you're going to be a tree in this episode of whatever. You stand like a tree and pretend like you're a tree.
Yeah.
But having a conversation with somebody that's really hurt you and left an indelible mark,
Yes.
and walking through that as an exercise is so powerful.
My goodness, I'm feeling that from you now.
Yeah.
Actually, I
Oh
have to
no,
say.
it would
my
be. It
goodness.
would be really. It's like probably something. And
Yeah.
and I talked about this a little bit. And I had a scene in a movie called God's Not Dead, and
Yes.
I had a 3-page dialogue that was pretty much my life. And I did the scene, and it was basically everything I had gone through. But then they cut it down to 2 sentences when the movie hit.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I got it out, but I was really kind of excited to see how I got it out, and I never got to. Oh my gosh, you're going to cry. You look like you're crying. Am I making you cry? I don't want to make you cry.
No, it's okay. But it does, because I can feel the emotion.
Yeah,
I can feel the
it's hard.
emotion from you, and it is hard. And you were great in that movie too. I mean, that's like a
thank you.
seminal movie, so important.
Thank you.
But,
they did edit my whole scene out.
yeah,
Maybe we
that's
can,
frustrating.
it was, but I remember thinking how you guys must have felt in class. I remember thinking, at least I got it out in this one moment.
Yes.
And people need to get it out.
They really do. And I think, acting is such a great resource. Even if you don't want to become an actor, I think even for children, for young adults, it's such a great resource really to work through a lot of feelings and to, play, role play, to gain confidence. It's not just for actors, but the emotional workout is so good for you because it's tough. There are so many different things. Parents, problems, families, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, husbands, wives, all of that. And so, we need to stay. And it's tough to be an actor because you need to be open, but then you need to have like a second skin, so you can handle rejection, everything else. So it's like a dichotomy, you know, of those two opposing forces, but there's a way through it, but you have to do some healing before you can really be open and be able to handle it. And I'm so free of so much. I'm so grateful. It was a combination. I mean, I'd done deliverance and stuff like that. It was a combination of that, as well as working with Bernard and my faith walk as well, that has cleared so much from the past. So I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, it's an ongoing process.
You're right, though, because a lot of the classes I was in, there was always one or two people that they might have been an accountant or a lawyer, and they just were there because they wanted to gain some confidence, or they wanted to get up on stage, or they wanted to public speak, or, you know, there were several people that would just go because they just wanted to be there and see what it was like. So it might be an acting class or acting coach, but it's not necessarily all about that.
Yeah, we have people from the business world come in and they want to get better at public speaking, or they just want to gain confidence, or really improve the communication as well. So yeah, we do have, and they, I mean, you know, you see them break down and cry.
That's the number one fear in humanity is public speaking.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That makes total sense.
Absent.
See all those phobia words just come right in there?
Yeah, I know. But I was actually absent every single day of my speech class when I was in the 11th grade. Every day I had to get up and give a speech. Oddly enough, I'm an actress and doing this, but every day I would not go to, it would make me cry right now. I passed, but I didn't get I probably got a C because I was so scared to get up in front of all those people. But it's not about me. It's about you.
But look how you overcame that. Isn't that amazing? You choose, of all things, to become an actress.
No, I know. And I was horribly teased. That's a whole other show. But we're talking about you, Sandra. I love you. And I want to know more about you because there's a lot. I want to know, tell me about the Pink Elephants Theater Company.
Okay, so yes, that started some time ago.
I love the name.
Yes. Well, the Pink Elephant was because it's all about celebrating being different. And I think, you know, partly when you first, you know, depending on your kind of environment, if you tell someone you want to be an actor, they're like, oh, really? Really? What do you have that, you know, millions of others won't? And so it's like there's this slight difference of, you know, wanting to be an artist or wanting to pursue something that is challenging. And so the idea came through a poem, and it was about, you know, being, not having to hide yourself. And so there's this lovely story of this pink elephant, and he was being teased. And so he tried to cover himself up in the dirt so that he could be gray like the rest of the other elephants in his group. But then it started to rain. And then obviously he was revealed to be this pink elephant. And then he started to realize that it was okay, you know, that it was good to be different, and it was okay to be different and to celebrate the fact that he was different. And so, you know, that story was really about actors, getting actors from all over the world. And we have these international masterclasses. So we have actors come in, casting directors, come to LA, and we do our masterclasses. And also Bernard teaches in Spain and France and other countries as well. So we have this massive group of actors that we love from all over the world, many of whom have worked together on projects and just stay in touch with one another. And then they fly out. Like we've got a few flying out to
There's
LA.
a lot of directors and writers too. They really love him.
Yes. Oh yeah. He's very well known in Europe too, because he loves going out to Europe as well.
I have to meet this person.
Yes,
this
you
man
do.
behind the
You
Okay,
do.
so then I'm totally jumping all over, but we have a lot to cover.
Yes.
And we have you here in the studio, so thank you.
Yay.
You went to the 2020 Oscars, and hopefully we can show a picture of your beautiful red dress. That's gorgeous. You look gorgeous.
Was there
Thank you.
2020?
She went to
it was
the
before
Oscars.
COVID,
It was
right? 'Cause
just before the pandemic.
It's in
hit.
March or February?
It was in March.
March, okay.
No, sorry, it was in February.
February.
It was in
Not
February.
March.
Mama March.
It was in February.
Yes,
and you
it
attended the,
was.
the
20th.
governor's ball as well. Was this your first Oscar attendance?
It was, yes. I had been to the Golden Globes before, which was amazing. But yeah, this was my first. So it was...
Tell me about that night.
I felt like I was getting married. It was so funny. I had my makeup artist, I have everyone helping, and my roommate, Jamila, was there helping me, getting me in the car, and then the car arrived, and we were in this lovely limo, and I was also live streaming, so I have a contact, Moema de Silva in Brazil. So I was live streaming the whole event to her. She's a journalist. Because I was so excited.
That's cool.
It was so cool. So there I was, speaking to some people that I knew. But the whole event, and it just started raining a little bit, so it was a little damp. I was like, oh, what a shame. But anyway, other than that, I felt like I was in some alternate reality. It was very bizarre, but also very exciting. Everyone was so friendly. We talked to a lot of different actors, producers. I don't know many of them, but everyone was just so excited and grateful to be there. And it was a real celebration.
Yeah.
It was such a celebration, and we were all excited. There was a couple of other colleagues of mine who were with us. Another actor, Adrian Gaeta, who's an amazing actor. He was with us, as well as obviously Bernard was there. And it was just incredibly special, and I'm so grateful, because it's like a one in you kind of think, well, one day I'll be there with my film, but if I'm not, at least this was a great opportunity to see everything live. Like, I really enjoyed the ceremony. It was really fun, and some of the music was incredible. Like, I remember weeping and like having to, because it was so powerful.
You may have gone to one of the very last of its kind. I'm not trying to go negative. I'm just saying, the last year was not the same experience. And if we don't clean things up quickly, we won't be having.
Did they do it live last year?
They did it. They did a lot. They did it live for a few people, but then they had a lot of it on Zoom.
That's right.
And it didn't get this. So you might have been a part of something really bigger than you even.
That's very true. I think so. Well, I'm grateful. But
yeah, pretty cool. And so then you went to the Governor's Ball after.
I went to the Governor's Ball. Again, I talked to so many people. I was just because everyone is very open and friendly. And so you just talk to a bunch of, actors, producers, everyone's super excited. And also, especially when they realize that I have an accent, they're like, oh, you're British, or, you have a funny accent or whatever. So that's always really helpful.
Yeah.
But that was a great experience.
Because we all want to talk like you in this business. We do. I don't know why. It's a funny thing. When we'd go to acting class, we'd get up there and do an improv. People, that's the number one thing they wanted to do was
when they
in a European accent.
Receptionists, and years ago, and probably still today, if you have an Australian or English accent, you can make twice as much as a receptionist. Okay. They all want that.
That's actually true.
Which of course it's true. I just said it.
It is. It's actually true. And my
Are you
friend,
validating me?
yes, my friend, he had a company called Off-Road Entertainment, and I had to leave his message on the message machine, and I said, "Hello, you've reached Off-Road Entertainment. Please leave a message at the beep. We'll call you back later."
That's good. Yeah, that was good.
Very good one.
Oh my goodness.
And he had that. I think he still has the message. But there was a study where it legitimized you to some degree if you had someone answer the phone with a European accent. So I'm just saying.
It's true. There's something.
If acting doesn't work out, you can always do voice recordings.
Yeah, sure. I did do quite a few voiceovers, actually. Yeah, I have done. So, that is absolutely true. Yeah. It is. I've experienced that firsthand as well with things that I've been asked to record, and even friends of mine going, "Can you do my voicemail?"
Yeah. We'll be doing mine after the show. Well, maybe the opening of the show.
Oh, yeah, we'll do another opening.
Another opening. Okay, so tell me also about, you do it all, and you amaze me because you've done a lot, and you're working on a lot of projects right now, but tell me about your international online column.
Oh, that's Moema De Silva's column.
Oh, okay, yes. So that's what that was.
So that was the live streaming for her column. Yeah, okay. It's not my column. I wish it was.
It was in there, and I read it, and I was like, oh.
And you're like, what? Oh my goodness.
Honed in on that.
Yeah, it's my column.
Well, then you can tell me about the TV series that you...
Super Zeros?
No, actually the one called Interlocked, because the description and the breakdown of it was really about like kind of what's going on right now.
Superheroes.
Yeah, there's superheroes. There's another one too, but this
superheroes or super zeros?
Super Zeros.
Super Zeros.
Super Zeros.
Super Zeros. Thank you, Sean, for the name. Yes.
Interlocked is kind of like what's going on right now.
Totally. So that was done during the pandemic. So it was literally, and this is one of my brilliant friends who's a writer, actress, producer, started a production company called All Visions Align, Ava, which I've worked on projects with her. So she created it, and she was like, well, what can we do? We've got actors from all over the world here. And and she wanted to create something that was about remarking about what was going on, but also dealing with like a lot of the isolation, a lot of the issues coming up. So so a lot of these wonderful actors from all over the world, we all filmed. She wrote the script. We would prepare the script. She had all the characters and everything else. And that was it. And then I played this wonderful doctor who was, again, revealing a lot of what was going on in terms of the pandemic, but also showing her own vulnerability about her own life, about broken relationships and all of these things. Because when you're in that situation, and I think for a lot of people during that time, you then get to focus on what's wrong, what's happening. It's not just the fact that you're restricted, but it's also what's going on with my life. So there's a lot of self-reflection in it. So it was super exciting to work on, because we couldn't, I couldn't just fly to Germany, because we did do a film in Germany called Intruder. And, back then I could just fly to Germany and work on the project with her and the team from Ava. But no, this was all about being connected, but being, away from one another, so it was like a disconnected connection kind of thing. So yeah, and the results are really interesting.
Interlocked. It's called Interlocked.
Yeah,
and was that on Netflix, or what is it on?
It's not, it was released onto YouTube. It's just actually on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to check that out.
Yeah. Check it out.
Because not a lot was going on, and you guys managed to pull something together, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's all Mariah. Amazing.
Wow.
She was one of my students that just completely created a production company from one class that I was pushing all of the actors to do something fundamental with their lives, like a big project.
Look what you helped
and
her
a year later, look at her. She's amazing. Yeah.
You're amazing too, for sometimes
Thank
just
you.
take that one person to,
Now let's hear about Super Zeros.
Well, you have, it's Super Zeros, and you also Girl Chill.
Girl Chill. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Robert Michael, the
That's
creator,
a comedy
writer,
series.
director. Yes. And I play this kooky character who I love called Mallory. She's hilarious.
Yeah, I read
love her.
about it. It sounds really good.
Yeah, she's super funny. And
Does she have an accent?
She has a British but slightly more pronounced British accent. She's so kooky. I just love her because she runs this dating agency, but she doesn't have dates of her own. She's really single, but she's obsessed with her plants because she doesn't have kids, but she has plants. They're like her children. Yeah, little Timothy. So she's just like one
That's
of those.
hilarious.
Yeah, one of those women that have kind of they don't exist so much anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like from another time.
Yeah.
But I just love her, and Robert Michael, so brilliant in terms of the writing of that. And it's really about dating, like the problems of dating, especially because it's centered around LA. And
I didn't get a part in that show.
Yes.
Just kidding.
So and it's and it's tough, and the older you get, the tougher it gets, as we know. It's difficult, especially. I think priorities are different in California compared to other states. That's what I've
the priorities
found.
are different, but the problem is if you're old school and you still have those priorities, but then you're meeting people with you know what I mean. So
yes,
whatever.
Yeah, with those values and everything else, that's trickier.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that's called Girl Chill, and that's on.
That is we're looking at releasing it to I can't talk about it right now.
Okay,
but one of the
good.
networks is
Looking at it. Okay.
is looking at it right now. So
stay on the lookout for
Yes.
Girl Chill, because I would watch it just to see
Is it
this.
a movie or series?
it's a TV series.
series.
Yeah, it's an episodic. Yeah.
How many episodes did you shoot?
I think they've done 4, but you'd have to double check. I think it's 4.
Okay.
It will say on IMDb.
Okay.
But I've done 2. I've done 2 of the episodes. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like that character is someone they need to bring back.
Oh yeah, no, and
it.
this is something that he started once because he had an idea of the character, and then I kind of took it even more extreme, and so he did say to me, I'm gonna have this whole storyline for her because she's so fun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
And I love doing comedy.
Comedy's great.
So good.
It's probably the best thing in the business to do, because you just get to laugh. I mean,
Absolutely.
Friends would have been my ideal.
Oh, me too. I love Friends.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Just
I send all my
laugh.
students to watch that totally.
Yeah.
It's such good writing.
Yeah.
Such great acting. The transition from, the dramatic but also the comedic. It's just so beautifully
If you
done.
watch that show from beginning to end too, you'll see that. And now, having looked back and watched the final one they just produced, the 2-hour special,
Oh gosh, yes, I have to see that.
it's so
I haven't
good.
seen it
And
yet.
the
Okay.
writers really did cater to each person.
Oh, that's good.
And then throughout 10 seasons, you see how they, subtly navigated them with their own intentions.
Right.
Run a small business? You don't have to ship your own orders. Fulfillrite can take care of order fulfillment for you, saving you time, money, and stress. That means more time doing what you love. Delegating grunt work, like shipping to someone you can trust, is a secret to business success. Fulfillrite is the most trusted name in order fulfillment, and the reviews back this statement up. Fulfillrite has 5 stars on Shopify, Google Reviews, and Trustpilot from over 100 businesses just like yours. Boost customer satisfaction and scale your business faster with a logistics partner that feels like an extension of your team. Services include same-day shipping, real-time order and inventory tracking, dedicated customer service, and volume-based discounts. To learn more about how Fulfillrite can help you grow your business, go to fulfillrite.com/Cory to get $100 off when you sign up. That's fulfillrite.com/Cory. Reclaim your time so you can scale your business by going to fulfillrite.com/Cory. Are you tired of the same old fantasy football leagues that you hear about online and that get canceled after only a year or so? If so, Dynasty Owner has your back. Dynasty Owner unites the fun and excitement of fantasy football with the skill and strategy of the front office by incorporating a salary cap and real NFL player salaries for die-hard fantasy football fanatics that want the real GM experience. It adds a whole new level of strategy to fantasy football. We think it's such a big difference that we hold 3 patents on it. Go to dynastyowner.com. New leagues for the 2021 season are forming now. That's dynastyowner.com. Are you worried that you won't be able to find anyone to play in your league? Don't worry. Dynasty Owner can help you fill your league with fantasy football enthusiasts like you, so you won't have to worry about finding enough players. You can choose to start your own league, join a league that needs to be filled, or you can even purchase a team from a previous owner if you'd like to take that team to the championship. If you are finally serious about joining the big leagues, go to dynastyowner.com and start your dynasty today. That's dynastyowner.com.
Okay, so we'll get to superheroes.
Super
I
zeros.
don't know why I keep saying
Super zeros.
Superhero.
Super
Super Zero. So what's that about?
So we just shot that. We literally shot that in Morongo Valley. And it was written by a friend of mine called Amelia Lindgren, who's a European. She's from Sweden. She's been out here for a very long time as well. So it's female driven, which was really fun to have, like, I have the lead character. I play Dr. Petunia Pepper.
Ooh, she's got all these good names.
I know, it's a great name. And she's also British. She's a tea drinking Brit. So she's like hardcore about her tea. And she's a little peculiar. So she has a little story, which a little mysterious woman. But basically she's a therapist. And so it's basically about these 3 superheroes that are having real problems with their superpowers, and so they
Super zeros.
So they come to see me, and see whether they can either get rid of them, because they really just want to be normal. These are they really want to be normal because these superpowers are really challenging them in life, and so they're having a really hard time, and so they come to me for help and support and everything else. And it's a really it's cheeky, it's very silly, and it's very funny. And I think it was written a couple of years ago, but we were kind of trying to find the right time to make it, and it kind of felt like the right time. And as a producer, and it was something I wasn't initially planning on producing it, but then I wanted to make sure it happened within a certain time frame and everything else. So it was a lot of work in terms of starring in it, but then also producing it. But I learned so much, and I had a great team behind me, really. I was very blessed with that. And Amelia, a great director, up-and-coming director. And we had a really fun and very stressful shoot. But it worked out really well, because when the laughs are all there, they're genuinely there, because we laughed so much. And we had to deal with a lot of different things. Like I'd never experienced the situation with obviously having to deal with COVID, the whole situation with that, and obviously having to fulfill certain things by SAG. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of extra things we had to do to make sure everyone was safe on the set. And then we were dealing with heat, because we're up in Morongo Valley and it's super hot up there. And then there was a rattlesnake that was there on the property that when we arrived.
There's always something.
So that was happening. And it was a small budget. It was under 10K. So it was like a very small budget. But it was...
movie or short? Or?
It's an episodic as well. And so it's in the can. as it were. And it
Super zeros. There's so much you could do with that.
yes.
It's like when your
How many episodes
superpower
did you
goes
get?
wrong.
We shot 5 episodes.
For
Yeah.
$10,000?
Yeah, for under 10, yeah. I know. Yeah, well, I pulled a lot of favors.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
A lot of favors.
Wow.
And we had an amazing DP
Is it edited
who
yet,
did
or?
everything. No, it's going to be edited in the next 2 months. We're going to have it. And then we're going to be, all the favors we have as well. We want to try and get it on one of the platforms. But I know it's going to be
That's a
so
great
good.
name, and there's
Yeah.
so much. You could go a long time with that
Oh, yeah.
that concept.
Yes.
I mean, I'm picturing Super Zero, a Super Zero with, you could,
Oh, thanks, Cory.
Bob, I'm picturing you. Your face. Your face, Bob. We have this. It's fine.
It's a running joke.
Yeah, apparently we have this thing where
No.
Cory insults Bob all day long.
No, I would never do that. So, but Super Zeros, that's just great. I could, it's kind of like, The Incredibles,
Yes.
You could do that. You could turn it into a animated. I mean, that's so great.
Yeah,
great.
I think, I mean, the next season is already
Oh
kind
my
of,
gosh.
Earmarked. So we have ideas for the next
You gonna do
season.
5 episodes a season?
Probably, yeah. And I mean, it depends. If we get more money, we might do more.
Well, you do it on
when-
Netflix.
when you
do-
get more
Yeah,
when you get more money, right?
When, that's right, when we get
That's
more
that's a
money.
discussion we're gonna have off camera.
Yes, absolutely. But it was it is very funny, and it's cheeky, and it's completely different. It sort of turns the whole Super Zero kind of genre on its head.
That's great.
And then, and a lot of character works. There's another wonderful, for the actress who plays Mona, Marilyn, is an amazing actress and very bubbly, sexy, funny, And so I was so blessed with the casting. We had
Love
such a
it.
great team, and it was really, it was such a pleasure to work on it, really. So I'm
That's
very grateful we got
amazing.
to do it. Yeah.
So then that's here.
Yes.
Tell me some of the productions that you've worked on in London. Because that's a totally different animal.
It really is, yeah. So there were some TV shows that I did in London. So one of them the first one was Bad Girls, which was the biggest TV show I'd worked on up until that point. And that was really fun. I played this awful character. She was really mean and very rude and obnoxious, and she was in prison. And so I was abusive, and I was this really hardcore, and I really used
Which is the
a lot of my-
antithesis of you. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't even imagine you playing
Well, that's my
that.
question. Do you like playing the opposite of you, where you get to just be a real bad person, or do you rather play the good person?
Well, I mean, I would, in some ways, I'd rather play the good person. But what you do with the bad person is that it's really a mindset change. It's really like, well, if I'm a serial killer, why would it be a good thing to kill people? So you just have to kind of turn that on its head, really. You have to sort of be like, well, it's a real mindset change. So it is possible to play these characters. Now, I wouldn't play characters like, the Joker or anything. I think that would be too much of a... I think that would make me very uncomfortable. But I think certain characters are fun, like being in prison and being, someone that is very overreactive. Well, I can go back into their past. And this character was Ashley Wilcox. And she'd basically been beaten. She'd been hit. She'd been abused.
So sorry.
You're welcome.
So
Bless
sorry.
you.
God
Bless
bless
you.
you. Thank you.
So she'd had so much happen to her that she was a product of her environment. And she was just fighting. She just felt like people were trying to demoralize her or take her down. So she had to be tough and strong. So I think there's always a way in to kind of figure out, what's going on, and trying to find a way where you're like, okay, what if I was in that situation? Like, what if I grew up with those parents, or that lack of care, or that I could be that, right?
Yeah.
We could all be,
Yeah.
you don't know.
Oh
We
my
could all
gosh, you're right.
So you find and in the end, I mean, there's some moments with her character as well, where there are some vulnerable moments in her character. And I found those, and it was really nice to find those. But she was a tough character. And it was so funny because I met a casting director after that point for another project. And when she met me, she was really terrified. She was like, I saw Bad Girls. You're really horrible. And I'm like, but I'm not horrible. I'm really nice.
Oh my gosh,
and she
right?
was, she was really upset by it. Like,
That's so
because
funny.
I burnt a hijab from a Muslim girl. So I burnt her hijab in the scene, which was like a really big deal. That's awful.
you don't do that.
You don't do that. So that was one of the things
Yeah.
that was really like offensive. And so I had to to be like, I'm a pussycat. I'm really nice.
Right? Well, that's the thing is if you play a character well, then the people on the street won't
I think
like
that's
you.
who you are, yeah.
That's
It's
true.
just the way it is. And that's when you say thank you.
Yeah, so when they say,
Well
you're
done.
a horrible, oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. It
You're such a
works.
doll, thanks.
Yeah.
It worked.
Wow. So
So that was that one, and then doctors as well. I played a thief who was basically pretending to be a doctor, and I was Spanish as well. So I was Spanish, so I had a Spanish accent at the time.
oh, did you do
Yes.
that? Could you do that?
Yeah, I did at the time. Yeah, gosh, I'd have to like have a minute to kind of get back
Wow,
into
that's
it.
a hard one to go from
Yeah.
is the European to the Spanish because it's a completely different rolling of the tongue.
placement. Yeah, it is absolutely. But that was super fun. She was a great character, Christina something Ray. Hello, and she was so fun. She was just a little cheeky thief. But she pretended to everyone at the doctor's surgery that she was this legitimate doctor, and she kind of seduced them all to believe,
How do you
to trust
pretend
her.
in surgery that you're?
She didn't get to do any surgical
well, of
procedures. It
course.
was just I was just talking, meeting all the
gotcha.
staff because I was going to be joining them, and so this was just a kind of meet and greet kind of thing. But yeah, that was fun.
What would you say the main difference is on a set in London as opposed to a set in the States?
That's a really good question.
I grew up watching Benny Hill.
You did?
Yeah, oh, totally.
Oh my goodness.
My stepdad looked just like him. They were very, very similar. Not just like him, but they were very similar.
Oh my
and
goodness.
And I just loved Benny Hill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I
Yakety
love
sex.
I love that satire.
Humor, the
That's-
slapstick kind
yeah,
of
and there's
cheekiness.
a show called Episode with Matt LeBlanc.
Right.
Oh,
Episodes.
okay.
It's called Episodes, and
okay.
it's on Netflix, and it came out I think a couple of years ago here.
Right.
But I think is it shot in London or?
No, it was shot here. They had a
British
show.
satire, though.
Well, sort of. They had a show in England, and then they were moving the show to Los Angeles.
Yes.
Right.
And that's how they got with Joey Tripman, whatever his name, Matt LeBlanc and
Matt
stuff.
LeBlanc, yes.
But it was two English writers and producers
Right.
who now find themselves in Hollywood trying to do
Right.
things Hollywood way.
Right.
And the thing I remember is the Matt LeBlanc character says, Matt LeBlanc. There's this beautiful co-star, and they originally write her in as gay, and he says, no, you have to write her in as straight, because he wanted to sleep with her, basically.
Oh, I
but
see,
they
yeah.
kept saying, well, no, and he said, look, how many episodes do you do over there? They said, well, we do 6 a season. He said, yeah, in Friends we did 210. So Matt LeBlanc is playing Matt LeBlanc as an actor.
As an actor.
He says, we did 210. Where is this character going to go
Right.
in 210 shows?
It was
as opposed
really
to, like,
well done.
It's true,
So,
yeah. That makes
And it's
sense.
just so
Longevity.
funny. It's just their humor is so different.
I have to see
so
that.
And
Well,
I forget the name, but they're two well-known actors
Yeah.
who played the British producers who came over to produce the show.
yeah.
it's not Matt LeBlanc.
Matt LeBlanc.
LeBlanc.
B-L-A-N-C, right?
Blanc.
Sorry, Matt. Our producer Bob Victor was blanking on your last name.
LeBlanking.
Matt LeBlanc.
Reads like LeBlanc. Or LeBlanc's. LeBlanc's.
Well, but that is a good question. I think.
And by the way, I'll tell you, when Matt comes on the show, I'll apologize.
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Well. I think. I think there's a difference in the money. I mean, certainly, and the shows that I was involved in, the production values were a little less. But I think also there's something about. There was a show called EastEnders that was running in the UK for like years and years that I grew up watching. And it was very, it has a more of a grit. I think there's a grittiness
Yes.
with a lot of TV shows still in the UK as opposed to those in the US. So there is that kind of that some of the characters, it's not about how beautiful they are or how they look or blah, blah, blah. There's a lot more gritty, real. I'm thinking back to kitchen sink dramas where everything was
There's no
realistic and blah, blah, blah. So I think that would be the difference, really.
Yeah.
That kind of reality, like the nitty gritty kind of.
It's not so PC. It's just
Yeah.
it is. They're
Yeah.
not afraid to offend, which they shouldn't be offending. It's
Yes.
just they're just saying it like it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think that's great.
And they want to get into the meat and the darkness and the some of the mess, I think.
So you have, I don't know if this is correct, but I'm going based on what I read. And
Okay.
I did my homework on you. There's a comedy, Gals Night In, an action thriller, The Cipher, and a comedy drama, Two Cooks in the Mix, coming up, or have these been shot?
Well, we've shot some of The Cipher. And the other two are where it's a work in progress right now for those. But yeah, we shot some of the cipher, but it was we wanted to do a quick pilot. But in the end, we decided we're going to do a few more rewrites because I was writing the majority of the script, and my friend Janine Gaitlin, who's one of the other characters, Irina, she's in it too. So we wanted to create something, again, which is female-led, and play, CIA agents, Russian CIA agents, because I love those old shows. Like, I love just the mix and the mess, because it is such a mess. We're going to make that's the idea. It's action, it's drama, but it's also a lot of comedy. And so we wanted to create something very fun, but also very messy and problematic. And I don't know. So this was kind of, I don't know. I was a huge fan of Alias. So that's really where
I love Alias.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love
And
it.
she's wonderful.
She's great. And then she did Peppermint, the movie Peppermint,
very
which
good,
is
yes.
sort of similar. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to create something like that. So that's really something that we're going to finish shooting when I get back I'm going back to Europe over the summer to see some family and stuff.
Wow.
So we'll be working on it.
Michael
when I get back.
Vartan was in Alias.
Yes.
I know Michael.
Oh, do you do?
Button.
He's a handsome.
Thank you.
You have
That's
to
for
tell
you,
me.
Michael.
I'm on it. I'm
That's
on
for
it.
you,
Oh,
Michael.
lovely Michael. He was so good.
He's so good. Such a nice guy, too.
Oh, he is? Oh,
yeah, because I know him.
You know him. Oh.
I'm totally kidding.
Didn't happen.
So
There it is.
There it is. It was delayed. And he speaks French.
Just
You know,
throwing you
how
off
cool
your
is
game.
that?
I know.
It's so cool. That's so hot.
No, yeah. So you're going back to London.
Yes.
What is it like there right now during this? We're not going to say the word.
Foggy, rainy.
It's actually really hot right now. They're having
What's
like
that
a
look
mini,
for?
Can you read
mini
my
heat
mind?
wave. Having a mini heat wave. Yeah, and they've just kind of opened up a little bit more, unfortunately, although I just don't, I feel so disconnected from, like, I have some wonderful friends out there, but now my dad just sold his house in London, so he's going to permanently move out to Portugal, and my brother as well. They just bought
Is that
a
where
house.
he's from? Your dad's from
Well, my
Portugal?
dad's Portuguese, but he's been living in the UK for a very long time, and he'd normally like fly back and forth, but he wants to kind of permanently be in Portugal, and I think there's a little bit more freedom out there as well, and obviously the amazing weather.
Yeah, it's
and
beautiful there.
So beautiful, and all the family are out there too. So they're both in the process of like moving. My brother's just moved out with his wife. And so I have some friends, but I just feel so disconnected. I feel like a real American. I feel very American. I feel I'm a patriot, and I love this country, and I'm really grateful. There's this wonderful constitution. I wish we'd use it a little more than
But we can do something to preserve it. I was going through some photos on
Yeah.
my Facebook, and I was looking through them because I was like, do I want to keep Facebook or not? I don't really use it.
yeah.
But then we talked about whatever. And I found a photo. I'm like kind of leaning over, and I was signing the Declaration of Independence, a copy of it. When you take the tour, I took the tour with my daughter in her class.
Oh, fun.
You get to go do all these great things.
Yes.
And
Did
that
you
I
use a quill pen?
that I never got to do when I was a kid.
Right.
And for me, it made history come to life in a bigger way. Like, I really literally stood on the Battle of Gettysburg as they told the stories of the soldiers, and like I signed that. I don't even know why, but even just signing that made a difference in my life in such a big, profound way. Because we learn about it, we read it, we can recite it, and then you go on with life, and then all of a sudden now we're in this worldwide challenge of it.
Yes.
And it's that photo, I was like, brought me to tears. I was thinking, gosh, like my daughter says, people died for this, for our freedoms. People died. That's all she has to say. She just says people died. And it's and hopefully we can do what we can to try to preserve it. That was a long diatribe. Sorry, but
It's true. You're right. Yeah, we should.
Thank you for
should.
even saying what you said.
Well, there's no constitution in the UK. There's no preservation of history and sensible, sensible rules. Sensible how we should treat one another. There's none of that. Which is why so many things have, people have been imprisoned for making jokes and it not, appealing to certain people. But it's like, that's ridiculous. How can you do that? That's not right. I mean, anyway, but I'm really grateful that I live here. You know, I'm really grateful that I came out so many years ago, and you know, it feels like home to me. So,
well, we're grateful
Yeah.
you came too,
Yay.
because you are a blessing. And so, tell me a little bit. 'Cause we have
Yes.
a few minutes. We have a couple things we're going to go over.
Yes.
What does this mean, Bob?
Well, first of all, I did
I'm gonna edit it
twice.
out.
Means 20. You said we have a few minutes, and I went 20. I was waiting for you to do the
that's
math
right.
in your head.
That's
I
good.
know. I know. Look at when he does that little shaking thing. I really do wish that you would come on camera, because
Yes.
you would be like, you're just like, everyone would love you.
Nobody would watch you if I was on camera.
That's fine. This isn't about me. It's not. It's about our guests. That's what it's about. Back to you,
There you go.
Sandra.
This show will be dubbed Beauty and the Beast.
What is your favorite thing in the industry to do, as far as, you know, a lot of people love comedy, a lot of people love the action thriller or whatever. And the comedy is the hardest, that's
Yes,
for sure.
it is.
Definitely
Yes,
the hardest.
Comedy is definitely the hardest. Absolutely.
But like, if you could have your perfect TV series or movie, or what role would that be?
Yeah, I think it would be a mixture of comedy, drama, action. It really would be the journey, because even when I'm working with students or working on monologues or scenes or whatever, I'm always steering them towards finding the emotional moments, finding the joy in the scene or the monologue. And the more you can take someone on a journey, the better, the more interesting. Because also you want to comedy draws you in, right? Comedy draws you in, and then you can, boom, hit them with something heavy and deep. And then you'll have them crying. So I love that whole roller coaster, and I love it to be a story which is powerful and profound. I mean, there are some great stories, real life stories. There's one, a friend of mine, Darren Mormon, who's a producer, was one of the producers on The Blue Miracle, which is on Netflix, which is an amazing it's based on a true story. And it's so powerful. Not only that, is the cinematography amazing. It's so powerful. I wish I could have seen it on the big screen, but it's on Netflix, but it better than nothing. But it's those real stories, and if they're not real, to create a story that is so powerful, that has so much value. I think a lot of it really is, whether it's faith-based or not, it needs to have a powerful, positive story, something that, you know, people can go and feel better. They feel like they can go back to their lives and do something, maybe speak to their father that they've never spoken to, pick up the phone and, you know, call the ex-girlfriend, or, you know, take that job or move, or that's how I've always imagined stories, and want to be part of stories that really change lives. It's not just about, yes, it's great. It's a joy to be an actress. It's wonderful to be part of a team. That's what I really enjoy. It's the fellowship and the working together with the same idea in place, you know, trying to create something beautiful, wonderful. But it really is a story. And I just think sometimes, you know, certainly in Hollywood, there haven't been those stories that you feel empowered to watch. I feel like depressed after watching some of the things that are out there. And I'm like, well, this didn't help me.
Yeah.
You know, which is why obviously Friends was such a great one, because you did feel
you
felt great.
There's no doubt that watching an episode, if not all of them, will release some sort of serotonin in your brain, and you will have a feel-good moment, beginning, middle, or end of any one of those shows.
Definitely.
Right? So that's kind of, I think that's the goal, is to affect people positively and maybe generate some sort of emotion, right?
And I have a story, because I've been writing a screenplay. I've been working on it. It's called, temporarily called The Gene Code. But the idea is it's bringing in a lot of different things, because I'm a truth seeker researcher. I've been researching for many years. And there are so many things that, you know, the average person doesn't know, has not been revealed to them. Yes. So I'm putting them all in this story. Yeah, because I want not only to create a fun story and interesting, and it's based on this family, and one of the kids, Seth, who's 14, he's autistic, but he's brilliant. And so he, by divine kind of intervention, basically, or divine appointment, certain things are revealed to him. And so they're things that, you know, are hidden away. And so there's this whole story about him and his family having to run, because they have a lot of information that will cause certain organizations a lot of problems. And so I like the idea of it being around a family and the challenges that a family would face, but also I wanted to reveal certain things that I'm really interested, because I'm a bit of a geek. So
No, I think it's great.
yeah, and I've written myself a nice little part in that as well. And but I need the time to work on it, so I'll probably work on it when I go out.
It's hard to
Europe.
find time to work.
It is.
To write, actually. With
Yes.
writing, you have to be in the right headspace.
You really do, yeah.
Yeah. The woman who wrote The Help, I've told this story. You saw the movie The Help?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
She
yeah.
was like literally finishing it, putting the finishing touches, and her doctor, while she was delivering, was like, you got to put the computer down.
You're kidding.
Like, you're going to deliver a baby right now, and you have to put the computer down. And she submitted this book like 51 times to publishers and got like 51. It was like 51 or 61 deny letters.
Wow.
And it was like on the 50th or 60th, and it was like on the 51st or 61st time where
Right.
she got an acceptance.
Amazing.
She's a great story of never give up. Just never
really
give up,
is.
because you'll just somebody somewhere.
There's always somebody out there.
Yeah,
There's a lid for every pot.
That's right.
And I
Lid
love
for every
that when
pot.
she was, about to give birth, and she's still like working on a project. But she's a mom as well.
Because it's
a
really
working mom.
hard to write and
Yeah.
be in that. I've written a screenplay as well. And
Oh, wow.
I remember I was actually pregnant when I had to kill off one of the characters, and my ex-husband, now my daughter's father, called me, and he was like, and I was crying when he called.
Yeah.
I literally was like, I had been writing it for 16 years, and so I killed off the character, and then he's like, oh my gosh, are you in labor? I was like 8 months pregnant. I go, no, I just had to kill Buki. And I got this big click. I was like, oh. So it really becomes
Yeah.
a part of who you are. And sitting across from you, like, hearing you talk about the characters that you've played is, I literally want to watch everything you've been in now, because of the way that you've identified with them and how passionate you are about each person, each character. So thank
They're my
you, because
babies.
that means well done. Like, to get right, they are your babies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the number one things that casting directors would say to me early on when I was just finding my way,
Yeah.
is you have to commit beginning, middle, and end, no matter what. I don't
Yeah.
care if, a bomb goes off in the room next door. Do not break character.
It's so true.
Right?
It's so true. I'm excited about the screenplay. What are you going to do with it?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I've laid
Really?
it down, and it's a
Raise money,
romantic
make it into a
comedy.
movie.
Yeah, it's a romantic comedy about
We
two people
need
that have
romantic
Tourette
comedies.
syndrome.
Oh, that's hilarious. Actually, one of our characters in Super Zeros has Tourette's.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, it's really funny, and it's
That's
called
brilliant.
Jack and Jill, and it's actually placed in several different awards contests, like written. But you know what? There's always a time. Who knows what
Yeah.
will happen? I'm kind of just on God's journey right now, and
Yeah,
you
fair
know
enough.
what that's like.
when you get the sign. to,
Yeah.
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 Resurrect it. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's cool. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So we have 3 questions for you.
Yes.
The first one is 3 words that describe you. What are 3 words that describe you?
Passionate. I would say a truth seeker. And oh gosh, that's a little. It's funny, isn't it? When you have to start thinking about yourself, you're suddenly
I don't even
like,
know you, and I would say you're an empath. So, you
Oh
have
yeah, that's
empathy
interesting.
for others.
Yeah, I would say it's a heart thing. Yeah, I would say heartfelt. Yeah, and I think that's where the empathy comes. Is the heart. Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what the Rorschach test is?
No.
Ink blot test.
It's an ink block test.
Oh, they do that on criminal shows, don't they?
Thank
No,
you.
they
I'm
don't. No,
serious.
they don't.
Yes,
No,
they
don't
do.
sit with her, please. You're
Actually,
putting, oh,
they
God, the
do.
2 of you together. No, it's a psychological test. And,
And
it has nothing.
and in therapy rooms, yeah. So they do that too for serial killers. They're
Thank you
trying
for
to
being
find
my
out.
last one. Because guess who will be doing it the next time?
I'll do it.
Yeah, come here now.
Not now. I'll do it
come
next
in
time.
now.
No, don't
your
start.
hair's
Hey,
not
lady, don't
done.
start with me.
Okay.
Channeling my wife.
You guys are hilarious.
Okay. So this is number 1. Number 1, we'll see you later. We're not going to see you again.
Oh, 2 Victorian ladies with amazing hats, like just pushing forward.
Okay. Love her. Love her.
So good this is.
I guess it looks like a moth. Oops. I guess it looks like some half-breed man moth who's trying to gain power over its over the people.
And who clearly wants to not be on the show anymore.
What do I guess.
Quick, guys. First thing you see.
Sorry, I kind of see someone with really bad makeup, like terrible makeup. Again, another powerful, like, the character from Monsters, Inc., that weird, large, the big, fat, weird character from Monsters, Inc. This is like a merry-go-round.
Yes, which has been kind of like
You want to hear something funny? The number 4 that you don't like, you've been holding it upside down every time.
Really?
Hold it upside down. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Oh,
yeah.
is it that way? Oh, yeah, that's not very... It's a really horrible image, actually.
Don't
Thank
feed
you.
her issues.
This is it. Say bye-bye, everybody, to the Rorschach, because I will not be doing
those
that.
images, you're right.
I'm not doing it.
Thank you for coming. Goodbye.
Yes. And our last question, A, is who is your celebrity crush?
Oh, gosh. So, he's passed now. I have two, actually. I have two. Can I have...
Yes, you can have two. You can have as many as you want.
Okay, so River Phoenix. Oh, my goodness. It broke my heart when he died.
Yeah.
And Sam Shepard. I loved Sam Shepard. Have you seen Voyager? It's
Sam
like
Shepard?
Sam Shepard.
No, Sam Shepard's amazing.
Oh, my goodness. Brilliant. Like, what I loved about these two wonderful men is their absolute integrity, their love of what they do, but also, so passionate about what they do, so smart, like such levels of inspiration and intellect, and River Phoenix was not a trained actor, but just really just learned his way just by
very
it was very powerful. He was
sad.
very intuitive. It was very sad.
So talented.
So talented.
Very, very talented.
Yeah.
Those are two good ones. Very good.
But I guess like one living, Zac Efron is a bit of a celebrity crush.
Zach. Hey, Zach.
Little Zach.
Have you seen his traveling cooking
I've
thing?
heard about it. Haven't seen it.
It's really good. He did a great job.
Yeah.
He takes you into some interesting places, and he's cute. He seems like a nice kid.
Yeah.
He could be my child.
True, yeah.
He literally could.
He literally could,
He
yeah.
was great in The Paperboy. Did you see about Nicole Kidman? Oh, that was intense. That was very good. Yeah.
Yes.
That was very intense. Yeah. So, I guess
So
that's
where
it.
can we find you then? Because you're acting, you're writing, you're producing, you are coaching at Bernard Hiller's studio. Are you guys in studio now, or are you?
We're about to be. So
Okay.
we're doing our first big live masterclass.
Okay, will you call me so I can
excited.
come down and
Yes.
do you guys let someone audit it?
Yes, I will let you come down. You can come and meet him. April
afraid of
Webster
getting
will
graded?
be there as
Huh?
well.
You afraid of getting graded?
No, actually, I would get up and I always liked getting up and doing improv.
Well,
I
auditing
taught a
is
few classes
you
in
do
myself.
everything, you just don't get a grade.
Yeah, you can do some improv.
You have to grade her.
Okay, right now, what we're going to do is that exercise.
We could do an unfinished business.
Yeah. Right now, Bob.
Right now?
Yeah, right
you
now.
can't do it with me. You got to
Bob,
get
I'm
somebody
gonna
to
have
play
you
me.
just be Bob.
Yeah.
Because it's really about your unfinished
Yes.
business.
You're just gonna be Bob.
You got to
It's
find
not the
somebody else who's
ex-husband.
going to say, stop banging the microphones and watching them shake all the time.
I'm sorry, that was me. I got
The
excited.
first time was her.
No, we
But
really
yeah,
do. Thank you so much for coming today.
Oh, you're
and
so
I will
welcome.
come down and check
Yes,
it
17th to the 22nd of August.
out. Okay.
Yeah, so please come down. You would be a special guest.
I would love to come.
Yeah,
yes.
I'd love for you to meet her.
Would you say
him
22nd
and-
of August?
No, 17th to the 22nd.
You won't be here.
No, I will be.
You'll be in Nashville.
Not the whole time.
16th through the 20th.
20th. Okay,
21st.
so 22nd.
I'll come in on the 22nd.
Come on the 22nd because we'll have April Webster there.
16,
as well.
17, 18,
Wonderful
19,
casting
yeah,
director,
okay.
April Webster.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll
You'll be back by
there.
the 22nd.
I would.
Perfect.
You're
That's
still
it.
talking.
22nd. You're so funny.
Oh, my God.
You guys are the cutest, actually. You're adorable.
We really are, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. We're just great. Where do the
Maybe
guests-
you'll come on the
where do
22nd
guests
and we'll do
leave?
that exercise there.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Let's just see how this episode gets edited.
No, he edits all of that. So we love Bob.
I love Bob.
Yeah.
God.
No, it was hot in the studio.
Oh, you have to
that
explain
day, I'm sweating right now, and I was like, I'm hot, and he took it as a soundbite.
Oh, he did.
No, we were in the studio,
You are hot,
and she was
though.
looking in the mirror, and she looked in the mirror and said,
I'm hot.
I did not. There's no mirror in here, and I would never say that about myself because I don't think that.
well, you can't say I'm hot about anybody else.
I'm sorry. Were you Are you still dogging? Sandra De Sousa, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to
Such a
see you very
pleasure.
soon. I'm going to see you on the 22nd. So
Wonderful.
pencil me in. Is it in the studio in Hollywood?
It's in Sherman Oaks.
Oh,
Like
oh.
pencil. Right in
Someone
pen.
else.
Make
Well,
sure
pen
she
me
shows
in,
up.
whatever you want to. Yeah,
Pencil me
I'd
means
really
I
like
might
to
not show
come.
up.
I
So
would love to
it
have
would be
you.
so much fun.
It would be, and it would be great for you
I'm
to
gonna-
meet
I'm gonna
Bernie
show up and
and the
bring a
rest
camera.
of the team. And
I haven't
everything.
met him. I have not met him.
I'm showing up with a camera.
I don't think you
bring your
can do
camera.
that with. You have to ask
The
Bernie.
lady who's running it says I can.
Yeah, I can give you special permission.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, to have
You have
Done.
no idea what you just opened up the box of. Well, we will see you very soon. You're so beautiful inside and out, and I can't thank you enough for championing for not just others and their craft, but for God too. So thank you.
Amen. Thank you, darling.
Yeah,
Yay.
thank you.
And we're out. The Coriolis Effect is produced by JS Productions, with host Cory Oliver, producer-editor Bob Victor, and assistant editor Kate Bombsell.
Hi guys, I'm Cory Oliver, and thank you for watching the Coriolis Effect. We hope you enjoyed the previous episode. Here are some more episodes you might enjoy. Hit the subscribe button below, and have a great day.